Hello, my dear. Rhonda Constant, your favorite hometown medium, physical energy healer, oracle card advisor, paranormal investigator, voice for your loved ones. Um, you have to excuse the camping here. It's a little rough. So, I don't think I've done a reading for you before, so I like to explain real quick kind of how it works. I see, hear, feel, sense, know. They talk to me, but they also show me pictures, and I call it spiritual charades. Try to describe the picture the best that I can. There is always a reason for whatever they show or say. So if it doesn't make any sense now, keep it in mind because you'll either see it later, remember it later, or somebody else will validate it for you later and they'll go, oh, I know what he's talking about. He keeps saying hush. I don't know if he's talking to me or you. He keeps going hush, hush. So anyway, he won't give me a lot of details. His details are none of my business, but he should give me just enough that you know what he's referring to. So, why are you saying hush? He's pointing at you. He's going hush. Like, he's saying hush, but he's saying it quiet, like whispering it. Now he's singing the Mockingbird song. Hush, little baby, don't say a word. Mom's going to buy you a mockingbird. What's going on? If that mockingbird don't sing, Mom's going to buy you a diamond ring. If that mockingbird don't sing, somebody's supposed to be singing. And I don't mean singing a song. I mean singing like ratting somebody out or telling something that somebody doesn't want them to know, anybody to know. Somebody knows, somebody in your circle knows something. I have no idea if it's related to his death, at least yet. Somebody knows something. He doesn't know if that person is going to sing, that mockingbird's going to sing and tell what he knows. Somebody's trying to stay out of trouble. Somebody's digging themselves into a hole. Not you. Somebody's digging themselves into a hole. I'm not going to say 100%, but I feel like it's a family member. And you said something about cousins, and it very well possibly could be. Because it's either somebody that was close enough to feel like family, or it's family. Again, he's going, hush. Let them spin their own little web of lies. And I will say, I know you've been waiting a little bit for this reading, but I forgot what I wrote down. But kept feeling like I needed to wait. So I don't know if something's been happening on your end and this reading needed to come after that, or he just didn't think it was time to do anything yet. Okay, so we pulled some cards, which we do this quite often, and I shuffle the cards until he tells me to stop. So he picks the card for you. Surrender obsessive thinking. If you're obsessing about a person or situation, turn the dilemma over to spirit. Doing so will help bring you clarity or even solve the problem. So, if you're obsessing about this situation, ask your guides and angels. And I don't know if you know anything about the metaphysical or the other side or anything, but seriously, you can ask your dad, you can ask angels, guides, whatever, departed loved ones. Just say, hey, I need some help with this. Can you help me? And turn it over to them and see what maybe. So we also pulled this one to go along with that, to go along with this card. Detox. Your dad picked this card. Drink a smoothie, unfriend that asshole, and throw some shit out. So if you did get any of his stuff, throw some of that trash away. Don't hang on to it just because it was his. But detox. It doesn't mean that you're on drugs or an alcoholic or anything. It just detox can be unfriending that asshole. And I'm doing that right now. I don't have to live like that with people like that. So as I was getting ready to start doing this reading, he said something about an uncle. I don't know if it's your uncle. I don't know if it's his uncle. He didn't elaborate on the uncle, but sometimes they just throw words out. Something about an uncle. Let's see if he's going to say more about this uncle, why he said that. I don't know what that has to do with. This is his ball game. This is his show, and I let them do or say whatever they want within reason. Okay, so he's shown himself with like one work boot on. That's because he's taking it and he's stomping it on the floor. You should hear a thud every so often. It might be very, very slight. Just because he's showing me with his big old work boot and stomping it as hard as he can, that just means he's trying really hard to do this. That doesn't mean it's going to be as loud as he's making it look like it should be. Shut up. Shut up. So he shows up at night when you're sleeping. He shows up at night when you're sleeping and he puts his hand on your head. Because that's the part that worries. He puts his hand on your head to try to give you some comfort and peace. So you may think you dream about him, or maybe when you first open your eyes, you think you see, when your eyes are still foggy when we're first waking up, you may actually see him because he's pretty strong. Wherever you're sleeping, he's pretty strong, trying to bring you some peace and comfort. Because he says he loves you very much. He's worried about you. He says, don't worry about some of that other stuff. I think he's talking about the stuff that they took, which they have no legal right to, unless he gave them a piece of paper giving them that right. They have no legal right. That's crime. You're next to, unless you're not next of kin. If you're next of kin, but he's saying that he thinks that you would be so upset that maybe you wouldn't know what to do with some of the things that need to be done. I don't know what he means by that. I don't know if he means like funeral arrangements or paperwork or bank accounts or, if he had a house deed. I don't know. He's just making it sound like not just one thing, just all of it. And thinks it would be less stress on you. Okay, he's showing me a cardinal. Everybody pretty much knows about the feathers and the coins, finding coins, and cardinals, butterflies. I usually ask them for something unique, but he's showing a cardinal. So know that will be a sign from him when you see one, and it doesn't have to be a live cardinal. You can see it on TV. You can see it in a magazine. Do we even have magazines anymore? It's a magazine or on TV. Doesn't matter where you see it. Walking through the store, there's a picture of a cardinal. That's a sign, no matter where it's at. He says somebody can say the word cardinal or redbird, and it's still a sign. He says boy, and then he calls you son. You need to get up. Your life is not over. This is the way it's supposed to go. Father, children, blah, blah, father. It's grandparents. This is the natural progression of the way life is supposed to finish and another one start. I don't know what he means by another one start. I think he's talking about like grandparents and then people are having babies and then, parents and then people are having babies and just keeping that kind of line full. Does that make sense? Sorry if it doesn't. He says, this is the way the world was made. He says, you know what? I just fell asleep. I just literally fell asleep. And something caught my eye. Anything that happens during a reading is meant for you, but I don't know where it went, so I'm not going to include it. It was just something floating. So he says I'm there a lot. He's around you a lot. Once your grief starts calming down, to me this whole thing's backwards because when you first lose your loved one, your grief is so strong, you need to know they're okay. You need to feel them. You need to hear them. You need to see them. And it's exactly the opposite because the grief kind of is like puts a wall around us because we're so like this. And it's hard for them to get to you and let you know they're okay. And then once, the grief starts wearing off a little bit, then you'll start feeling them more or seeing them more or hearing them more. He, he keeps showing you sleeping and putting his hand on your head, but he's also like tapping your head. So this could happen when you're awake too. Or you could wake up with a headache in one spot. Or it can feel like a bug crawling in one spot. Or it can feel like a pin sticking you. It just depends on them. And everybody feels the energy different. So you're not going to feel it like I feel it. Let's go back to this card. He wants you to really, really think about that. Really think about that. He says, I'm fine and everything's going to be fine. Natural progression. I think he means natural progression of life. Chain of life. He says it was just went to sleep. Done deal. No pain. No nothing. Just went to sleep. No. Know that I passed peacefully. He's mentioning uncle again. I feel more like it's his uncle, and I don't know whether you would have known his uncle or not. He says you're a chip off the old block. You're a chip off the old block. You are strong enough, and you need to build your strength, your confidence in yourself, because you can do this without me. You've got this, because you're a chip off the old block. So you're not really going to do it without him. Invite him, ask him, give him permission. They cannot override our free will choice. I do dumb shit all the time, and my guides are up there, and my loved ones, and they're going, geez, Rhonda, why are you doing that? We told you not to do that. Because I can't. That doesn't make it right. But he will be right there to guide you. So ask him. Give him permission. If you want him to step forward, you want him to leave you more signs. He's something about the refrigerator door. Something about the refrigerator door and something rattling, like when you open it, like maybe you have to jerk it real hard and the bottles are rattling, that are in the door shelves. Or maybe when you shut it, you're going to hear that. Your door's gonna you're gonna walk in there and the door's still open, or you leave it open, turn around, and the door shuts itself. But he's showing like glass bottles, like wiggling, opening and shutting that door and rattling. Not sure what that's for. No, whenever you even think that you have a sign from him, validate him, acknowledge him, tell him you love him, and ask him to bring you more. Give him permission to help you, because they cannot override your free will choice. And you'll be surprised at the things that they can do from the other side. No, I haven't left you. No, I have not forgotten you. So evidently you've said that recently, but you think he's left and forgotten you. You were always my good boy. Even when you were doing things maybe that weren't so good for you, you were still always my good boy and always will be. You have an Aunt Janet, or he had an Aunt Janet, or an aunt with a J name. We kind of stink at names, getting names exact, so I kind of try to stay away from guessing names. So it's a female that feels like an aunt with a J name, if nothing else. And I don't know why he's acknowledging her either. So she could still be here. It doesn't mean she's with him. He's not saying either way. She could still be here, and he's just acknowledging her existence. I don't know. They don't tell me everything. He said he heard you laugh the other day, and it warmed his soul. It really touched his heart. He can hear you. He can see you. Talk to him all you want to. And eventually, when this all calms down, and the things that he used to validate for you, helped you with, and when he was here, he can still validate those things. It'll just be in a little different way. Something about the hair on your head. I don't know if it's going to stand up, or he's got fascination with your head. But now he's at the back of your head, and it's like your hair is all wacko crooked. Like when you sleep on it wrong, I don't know what that has to do with anything, but he's trying to validate himself. He wants you to know that it's him. He's here. And they're not really up there. They're really right here. I don't know why it's not so crowded. I don't know how that works, but it's not for me to know that part. He says, first he said, care, C-A-R-E, care for yourself. And then he said, take care of yourself. So that's kind of two different things, but kind of the same thing. He says, I'm watching you, and I love you. I don't think I told you that enough when I was here. I don't think you realized how much I really cared for you. I could have swore he said Aunt Bobby. Bobby? Aunt Bobby? Again, you have to stretch that name outside the box, probably. I don't know. We used to get names exact, and now it's just, I don't know why. Can't be perfect. Okay. He says, he wants me to pull these up again. Throw some shit out, he said. And throw some shit out of your head, too. He says, everything is going to all work out. It will be just fine. It will be just fine. It'll be okay. And I'm okay. He said he loves me. I like it. They tell me that once in a while. It's so sweet. Everybody needs a little loving. Okay. With that, he's going to go. Again, he wants you to take care of yourself. He is a little worried about you. It's all going to smooth out. Everything's going to be fine. He says to be careful how you think of yourself. Be careful of the words. He wants you to be careful of the words that you use about yourself. Be careful how you think about yourself. He wants you to love yourself like he loved you. He says, love yourself like I loved you. Maybe I didn't tell you enough, but love yourself like I love you. And give yourself a hug. And he's leaving. Okay, so watch for the signs and noise. What was it? Was it the boot? And anytime you think it even could be a sign from him, go ahead and validate him, because the more that they know that their signs are getting through to you and that you know that they're actually still around you, the more you will get. It kind of opens a door. They go, oh, look, they got it. I'll send you something else. Okay, much love, my dear. Thank you for being patient. Rhonda Constant, your favorite hometown medium, physical energy healer, oracle card advisor, paranormal investigator, voice for your loved one. Mwah.